Welcome back to Ready or Not. Last time I played this game, we followed the story of Juan, a psychopath vigilante who followed Californian firearm laws. Today, we'll be joining him again, but instead of trying to play as a civilian, we'll be attempting the John Wick challenge. On paper, it's a simple premise. We must beat all of the game's main levels completely solo. We don't need to save civilians or secure evidence so long as we get the Restore or Chaos objective completed. In order to beat a level, we just need to get to the end screen. This sounds simple, but that's because there's one thing I haven't mentioned yet: suspect counts. The number of suspects has been massively increased for every level in this run. Some levels can have upwards of 60 to 80 suspects roaming around, and we're gonna be taking them all on alone. There is, however, still one saving grace. In order for this to be possible, suspects have been given vastly reduced accuracy and slower movement speed. All in all, they're less deadly individually, but don't let that fool you. Where there used to be only one, there may now be 3 or even 4. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and subscribble.
Entonces es verdad. ¿Pensaron que matarme me detendría? He vuelto. Y ya no ando con tonterías.
As per usual, our run starts with "Thank you, come again." Being the first level in the entire game, you'd expect it to be easy, but as you previously saw, I actually failed my first attempt. So, this time, I go in with a P90 and a Mark V, both loaded with more than enough ammo to mag dump every gonk I see. As we enter the gas station for a Black and Mild and a pack of backwoods.
Can I get one single Black and Mild and a pack of backwoods? Yeah.
We get jumped by a couple of thugs who were apparently robbing the place. And as we all know, Juan has a strict no survivors policy for criminals. Since every level now has a lot more suspects, the chances of them taking hostages is actually much higher. Thankfully for us, Juan's mission is no longer about saving lives, it's about vengeance. Now for the hardest part of the level. The combination of a large open room and tight-packed hallways makes this area pretty hard to clear when there's 3 times more suspects than usual. Thankfully, my target recognition and reaction time is on point today, and I actually managed to hit some crazy flicks. I do, however, get shot a couple of times in the process, and due to the terrible visibility in this area, I find myself having to use multiple approaches and the element of surprise to catch the thugs off guard. Now, it's time to clear the outside. Just like last time, I take cover behind this wall and proceed to unceremoniously spray lead just about everywhere an enemy could be, with of course, little to no regard for who or what I'm actually hitting. After a final sweep around the map, I find out why I still wasn't able to complete the mission. This smartass thinks that being told to wait outside means he's escaped. Unfortunately for him, Juan has no rules of engagement, only suggestions.
Play put on by this team today, absolutely abysmal.
Next up, 23 megabytes per second. In 23 Mbps, we have to take out a Minecraft streamer for doing exactly what you think he did. Our first hurdle is getting into the open area. It's very hard for us to see enemies in the sun, and we're exposed to a lot of firing angles. We start by winning a 3-on-1 gunfight only to get surprised by an attack from below. Thankfully, the guy clearly plays on controller and therefore can't aim for shit. I then have to fight off. And almost died to this absolute maniac just running at me with a shotgun. After healing up and reloading, I go downstairs and make sure the outside area is completely clear before I make my way into any of the apartments. Now, for the apartments. I start by heading to the streamer's house. With the high priority target dealt with, we can now move on to the Bitcoin server farm, which was surprisingly easy. Your next mission is Twisted Nerve.
Wow, no.
Voy a dispararles a todos esos vagabundos hasta que me quede sin municiones.
Twisted Nerve is my least favorite level in the entire game. It's dark, huge, and filled with hobos. In this level, we make our way into some abandoned houses to bust a meth cooking operation. Our job here is simple. We just need to clean the place up. So, let's get to work. I start by clearing out the first floor of the house. Immediately, I can tell there's a lot more enemies roaming around. Each and every corner I turn could potentially have a knife or shotgun right around it, and if I don't react in time, I'm dead. Not only are there more enemies, but their AI is also incredibly reckless. They'll gladly rush right into my gunfire to try and get a few spare hits, and the closer they are to me, the higher the chances they actually hit me. With the first house taken care of, it was time to move on to the second. This is where the actual meth lab is located, and usually it has more suspects than the first house. I start by checking that the attic is clear. Surprisingly, there's no hobos up here waiting to stab me with a rusty knife. So, once I've confirmed that my flank is clear, I move on to sweep the entire second floor. Something which is easier said than done. With the second floor clear of hostiles, we move on down to the first. This, of course, means it's time to find Heisenberg. Lastly, it was time for the absolute worst part of the level, the outside and the tunnels. If I had to choose one single word to describe clearing tunnels, it would be agony. It is nigh impossible to see anything, the enemies can be hidden behind all sorts of debris, and my best guess on where they are is the muzzle flash from their shotguns. Needless to say, this is not a fun place to clear, but regardless, it must be done. Next up,
The Speeyider.
¿Estés listo o no? Aquí voy.
the Spider is the continuation of the Minecraft streamer's story arc. Here, we have to hunt down and kill, not arrest, this guy. He's hired himself some thugs to act as security. They may have pretty strong weapons and a numbers advantage, but we both know that won't be enough. Anyways, we start by clearing the outside and roof and proceed to take the stairwell into the main building, which is absolutely crawling with enemies. We then take a few quick gunfights and sweep the building, which is when we find our high priority target. With him down, we return to fighting his cohort of thugs, who have gone ahead and nested themselves just about everywhere around the map. This results in us having to take a few gunfights out in the open street. But of course, the Juan does not concern himself with passers-by. And with the enemies taken down, it was just a matter of, wrangling the civilians now. Ah, I see. A Lethal Obsession is the hardest level in this entire challenge, and it's by a long shot. For some unknown reason, the suspects here have increased numbers as intended, but their accuracy seems untouched. Hell, if I had to guess, their aim is even fucking better than usual here. I died several times trying to complete this level. Until now, I've been beating levels in 1 or 2 tries, but these random cultists are just absolute wizards with the AK-47, and for them, planting bullets into my skull is not a problem whatsoever. So, when faced with ever-climbing hospital bills, there is only one thing you could reasonably do.
Oh yeah.
Call Luigi. Hey Luigi, I've got a job for you. There's some guys over at Sullivan Slope causing a little bit of a problem for the company. I just need you to go in and, do the usual. So, you in? If there is one thing to be said about Luigi, it's not that he messes around. Being far more heavily armored, armed, and carrying the almighty Optiwand, he is capable of actually using his brain in a combat environment. Something which Juan hasn't done since he was lobotomized by a grenade in the first video. Being the absolute marksmen that they are, the enemies still managed to snipe both my arms early into the mission. But around here, we don't give up. We just say fuck it, we ball. I then double and triple check that the upstairs is clear, as when I'm on the first floor, the last thing I want is to receive backshots. With the Optiwand, most of the defender's advantages are removed, and we can easily swing and pre-fire angles before they even know we're coming.
Enemy spotted.
After one last little crouch peek, we double tap the hostiles, and the level is clear. Reports show that the country is undergoing a nationwide burger shortage, and it seems that restaurant chains all over are incapable of satisfying their customers' demands.
I can't believe it. You're telling me there's no burgers at McDonald's? There will be bloodshed, like ketchup on fries.
Ides of March is usually a pretty populated level, and here it's none too different. Our enemies this time around are a group of ex-US military veterans, protesting the lack of burgers circulating throughout America. Due to their nature, the suspects here are heavily armored, they carry LMGs, and they have actual military experience. But we have a Juan. In this level, it's very easy to get caught off guard and out of position by enemies. Due to the windy nature of the hallways and the amount of apartments from which they can storm out of, it is imperative that we keep on the lookout for attacks from any direction. In order to clear the hallways, we have to basically make our way through multiple sets of corners, each with assorted cover spots for enemies and usually very little for us. Eventually, we make our way into the musician's apartment, where we quickly clear out the balcony before realizing this absolute nerd uses Ableton. We then make our way into the first apartment with a sniper rifle. Thankfully, there's only one guy there, and soon we're onto the center area, which tends to be pretty tricky to clear as the enemies have a dozen or so angles overlooking every entrance. Absolute carnage lines the halls as we methodically clear every last room of hostiles. And not too long after, we've brought order to chaos. If I was asked to name the most brutal, ruthless motherfuckers in Ready or Not, who would I pick? The gangsters? Maybe the murder hobos? Perhaps the cartel? No. I think there's only one faction deserving of the title of the most insane, zealous warriors. I am, of course, referring to Mindshot Security.
Now, give them hell!
Sinuous Trail is like Twisted Nerve if instead of being garbage, it was awesome. There's lots of enemies, sure, but they look cool. They don't wield shotguns, you can actually see them, and the map looks cool. That being said though, what I mean by a lot of enemies is that there's a lot of enemies. This is pretty much the turning point in the game where levels start to have ungodly amounts of suspects. But to Juan, it just means he'll have to shoot a little more. While I was clearing out the final stragglers, I actually ran out of ammunition on my primary weapon. I had spent 20 entire mags clearing the building and was now left with just the pistol. This also isn't the last time this will happen. But after about 22 minutes of mission, we got the last man standing and thus secure the win. Next up, Ends of the Earth. Next up, Greased Palms. This is FISA Agent Adams. He's currently involving himself in a little bit of an odd job. You see, not too long ago, the cartel acquired a sample of Juan's DNA, and with their top-notch research labs, they have created multiple clones of him. Our intel suggests that the clones were delivered to the Los Sueños Postal Service warehouse, and that Adams and the cartel are currently performing some test runs with the clones right on location. Now, in theory, they should only be as strong as Juan was in the first video, but still, there's a fair few of them. So, take out the clones, take out Adams, And most importantly, just do what comes natural.
Cabrones, retrasaron la entrega de mi paquete. Por eso deben morir.
Greased Palms is a notoriously massive level, featuring long sightlines and enemies hidden behind all sorts of bizarre cover. It tends to be pretty difficult to clear for most people. But we are not most people. We are Juan. Since this level is huge and has tons of hostiles, I decided to start by clearing the elevated areas. In theory, I can use this as a vantage point to shoot down at my enemies.
Jajajaja, estén listos o no, aquí voy.
I decided to clear out the large warehouse interior before heading outside. The idea being that if I got every enemy in here, I could then wipe out all hostiles in the parking lot and circle back to the second post office. Of course, to say it'd be easy would be a lie, but we've faced off against more enemies before. This is nothing new. With the main warehouse and the outside clear, it was time to move into the final part of the level, the aforementioned second post office. Compared to what we've been dealing with, this is of course nothing special. And soon enough, we put down the final criminal and bring order to chaos. We can't however exit the mission yet, which means...